Hey, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Liz, business coach for women of color, and today we're going to talk about YouTube versus Instagram, which one is better. This is actually my second take trying to do this. I did go live, but I didn't like the quality because I was playing around with tech. Lesson learned, stop playing with the tech. It's unnecessary. Stick to what is tried and true and simple. But here we go. So, what I've seen over the last few months is a lot of messaging talking about how amazing YouTube is and how everyone who's on Instagram needs to hurry up and start their YouTube channels because the algorithm on Instagram keeps changing. No one knows what's going on. The reach isn't the same. The rules are changing. You don't know what's going on. YouTube's the answer. Yada, yada, yada. Now, I love YouTube. YouTube was my first love. I started my YouTube channel back in April of 2020, and I'm still on here today. And I can tell you with honesty and very minimal bias that YouTube may not be the answer for you. And I only say that because YouTube is a very different animal from Instagram. It's a very different animal, and comparing it is like comparing apples to oranges. And if you're having trouble finding clients for your business, then hopping onto YouTube is not going to be the quick fix solution that people often say it is. And here's why. YouTube is more of a long game. It's about long-term strategy. It's about building up your community, your audience, the people who would work with you long term. So it's not going to really give you the immediate success that you're looking for. When you are committing to growing your YouTube channel, you have to also understand that most of the people that you see who are successful on YouTube, who have all of these subscribers, they're usually people who have gone viral. They made like 20 videos and all of a sudden got 20,000 subscribers, and you think that that's the norm. It is not the norm whatsoever. I follow Roberto Blake, and what he says, and I absolutely love it, is just commit to making your first 100 crappy videos. And I 100% agree, because if you actually look at the statistics in terms of how long it takes the average person on YouTube to be able to develop a certain level of subscribers, you see that you're not hitting 1,000 subscribers most of the time anywhere under 100 videos. Like, you're just not. And so it makes way more sense to just commit to making at least your first 100 videos on the platform before you start thinking about building any type of serious traction. And 100 videos is a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort. So it is definitely not something that you should step into lightly. It should be something that you think about with intention, something that you strategically plan to do over time. And I think even trying to do 100 videos in a year, if you're not a full-time, person creating content or working your business, I think that's a lot. And most people aren't. So it just makes more sense to develop a strategy to get there that makes sense for you and your goals. Now, if you're building a business, you also need and want to get money in relatively quicker than waiting a few years off, right? And so that's where short form content on engagement platforms like Instagram really come in handy. And that's why I wouldn't say that Instagram is necessarily worse than YouTube or vice versa. They're just different. They're different and they serve different purposes. So commit first to making your first 100 offers on a platform that feels easy to you. And that could be YouTube, but just understand that that will also take time. But if you're deciding that maybe Instagram is the better place for you to do it, or maybe not even Instagram, maybe another engagement platform of your choice, maybe you're thinking emails, whatever, commit to doing that first and foremost, and then seeing what your results are. I am a firm believer in making sure that you give your service at least 100 offers in order to really genuinely see if it's working. Most people just don't give it enough of a chance as much as they should. And that's just because the internet just showers us with stories of people hitting six figures in 6 months. It's not real. It's a fantasy. But building a successful, thriving business is not a fantasy. It is 100% a possibility. It's just going to look a little bit different than from what the other marketing gurus have taught you. So think of Instagram as a way of just kind of creating that initial ecosystem, right? That initial ecosystem of 100 offers, you're creating value, you're serving your people, reminding them that you have a business available that they can work with you and that you can help them. So you're just creating that ecosystem. And then if you want to add on top of that a platform like YouTube to help expand your reach, then as you're creating that ecosystem, your YouTube content over time is bringing people into that ecosystem so that it eventually gets a little bit larger and a little bit larger over time. They work together hand in hand. But if you approach building your business as, frantically trying to create content on Instagram and then rushing to frantically create content on YouTube or anywhere else you think might hit, then you're not going to make it. It's not going to be sustainable, because the name of the game is consistency, being intentional, and then evaluating. And then after you've done evaluating, making one change, just one change to improve things. So I would definitely recommend a YouTube channel just because it's a great way to increase your reach, especially because engagement platforms, you tend to kind of reach a little bit of a cap. But I would definitely recommend adding in YouTube when you're ready. And mainly just because it's free and ads are not. So it makes sense to kind of build that in as a type of insurance policy, if you will, for helping you to continue to expand your reach. I mean, creating a YouTube channel these days is kind of like, trying to be found on Google, right? Like everyone looks for businesses, for services on Google. They look for answers to everything on Google. So, it's really just a matter of making sure that increasing your visibility so that more and more people know that you exist. So yeah, that's my answer. Is YouTube or Instagram better than the other? No, absolutely not. They just work differently. And if you can intentionally combine them in a way that works for you, then it'll be great for your business. Because you got to be thinking long term about it. When you have a business, you have to be thinking about, what's it going to look like in the next 3 years? Like, what's it going to look like after that? Like, you have to be intentional with this. Otherwise, at any given moment, you're going to be sitting and wondering, what's going on? Am I doing enough? Is this even working? What am I doing? You have to have that long-term vision and stay attached to that so that you always know that you have a North Star that you're working towards. And it's also much easier to not get swayed by the foolishness out here on this online space when you know exactly what you're doing and why. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. The wait list is open for one-on-one coaching. Spots reopen in November, so make sure you get on the wait list if you are interested in one-on-one coaching. People on the wait list are also getting chapters of my latest ebook, Roadmap to Thriving, at any audience size, to really get insight into everything in my brain related to building a successful, thriving business without the hustle, and a bit of anti-capitalism in there as well, because it makes us all better. It really, truly does. Make sure you watch this video next, all about, or it might be on this side, whichever side it's at. Watch this video next if you want to learn the fundamentals of just creating content, understanding, what problems you should be answering in your content in order to create content that's truly valuable for your people. I'll see you there.